Hello students, today our topic is Cascading Style Sheet CSS, and in this lecture we are going to discuss some property related to CSS, and this is the last lecture regarding to CSS. So let's start. First of all, there is a property named font weight, and the font weight property specifies the weight of a font. So if you want to specify the weight of a font, you can use font weight property. You can easily see here there is a program which shows the font weight, use of font weight property. Program always start with the HTML, after that head, and within the head element you can write style element, and within the style you can mention different types of CSS coding here. So first of all, you can easily see here that p.normal is there. P is a basically selector name. P is a paragraph which is a selector, and normal is a class, so we just write p.normal, and we write property font weight as a normal. And for second, p paragraph p, which is belongs to the class light, we just write font weight lighter. So lighter is a property. And then for next, we just write p thick font weight bold. So we apply three different values for property font weight, and after that we just use p dot thicker font weight 900. So we just manually um, give a number here 900. So four different types of font weight property are used here. After that, you can easily see that style tag is closed here. After that, head tag is closed here. So you can see that the CSS part is over here now. Now the body starts. So this is the main part of the HTML program, in which you can easily see that P class normal, P class light, P class thick, and P class thicker. These are the four different classes mentioned in this program here. And the content of the first P is this is a paragraph. All the paragraph basically contain the same content, and the content is this is a paragraph, but all of them are belongs to different classes, and classes are normal, light, thick, and thicker. So these are the different classes which different classes that p belongs. Now after the execution of the program, you can easily see that different font weights are appear here in such a manner that you can easily differentiate all of them. So font weight property specify the weight of a font. Okay, now see the output. This is the output related to four different font weight property. The next topic is responsive font size. So the text size can be set with VW unit, which means a viewport width, and this way the size will follow the size of the browser window, and that is a very important point. So VW means viewport width. You can set viewport width also in your program, and that there is a small program here in which you can see that here we just mention font size in terms of viewport width, means VW. So h1 is a tag here. You can easily see that h1 is style font size colon 5 VW mentioned here, and this is our example of inline CSS. So we use just here a style as a attribute, okay, as an attribute here. So now this is the line. Just read this line very carefully. H1 style is equal to font size 5 VW. VW means width, viewport width, and we just mention the size in terms of viewport width. Again, for P, we again mention the font size in terms of viewport width. Okay. Now after the execution of the program, our output look like this. So different viewport width are there. So there is a viewport width. You can mention the font size in terms of viewport width, and this is the Ava program which we just see here is an example of inline CSS, because we just use in this program style as a attribute, as an attribute. Next is font variant. So the font variant property specifies whether or not a text should be displayed in a small caps font. So in a small cap font, all lowercase letters are converted to uppercase letters. However, the converted uppercase letter appear in a smaller font size than the original uppercase letter in the text. So you can see the program here. Program start with doc type HTML means document type of this program is HTML, and after that HTML head, within the head we use a style tag here. It means it is an example of internal CSS. Then different classes are mentioned here. First class, first class which we use in this program is normal. So we just write p dot normal, and then font variant is assigned as a normal value. So normal is assigned for font variant, and next paragraph we assign small caps as a value for font variant. So you can easily see here, font variant is normal declared for first paragraph, and for second paragraph font variant is declared as a small caps. So the for normal and small caps are the two values for font variant. And the main program start, or the HTML portion of the program start from body tag here. Now you can easily see that that is the output. Now when we take look at the second line, my name is, in this program, in this line you can easily see here that the lowercase letter which are converted to uppercase letter are basically take the smaller size as compared to the capital letters that are already a part of that program, of that paragraph. Now these are all CSS font properties: font, font family, font size, font style, font variant, font weight. These are the different properties that we already discussed. So font basically sets all the font properties in one declaration. Font family specifies the font family for text. Font size specifies the font size of the text. Font style specifies the font style for text. Font variant specifies whether or not text should be displayed in a smaller caps of font. And font weight specify the weight of a font. So these are the different font properties, and we already discussed all of them. So you can use in your program all these properties. Now let us talk some another topic, that is CSS height and weight. So you can increase the height and width of your cascading of your web page using CSS height and width properties. Okay. So the CSS height and width properties are used to set the height and the width of an element. And the height and the width properties do not include padding, borders, or margins. It sets height and width of an height and width of the inside padding, border, and margin of the element. Okay. So two properties, height and width, are used for set the height and width of the your web page. So different height width values are there. There are basically 5 values which are used to declare height and width. These are auto, length, percentage, initial, and inherit. So auto is default, and the browser calculate the height and the width automatically. Second is length. Length defines the height width in terms of pixels, cm means centimeters, etc. Percentage define the height or the width in percent of the containing block. Initial set the height and width to the default values, and inherit the height and width will be inherited from its parent value. So these are the different values, height width values: auto, length, percent, initial, and inherit. You can use any one of them, and auto is by default. The height and width properties do not include padding, borders, or margin. It sets the height width of the area inside the padding, border, and margin of the element. These are the values: auto, height, percent, initial, and inherit. Okay. And always remember that the height and the width property do not include padding, borders, or margins. It sets the height width of the area inside the padding border and the margin of the element. And there is one more important point regarding to this div tag. I think all of you are familiar with div tag. So the div tag is an empty container which defines a division or a section. So div refers for division or defines a division or a section in our HTML program. So now set the height and width of the element. The division element has a height 200 pixel and the width of 50%. Example see, you can see the example here. This is an example where division element has a height 200 pixel and width 50%. Now setting maximum width. So the max property used to set the maximum width of an element. Okay. And the maximum width can be specified length values like px, cm, etc. or in percentage of the containing block or set to none. This is a default, means that there is no maximum width. So you can define maximum width in terms of pixel and cm means centimeter. And max width property is used to define maximum width of an element. Max dash width, that is the name of the property. Now I think max width property is clear to all of you. You are now able to apply the max width properties, and some few points are also there. The problem with the division operator however occurs with the browser window is smaller than the width of the element, that is 500 pixel. The browser then adds a horizontal scroll bar to the page. So that is very important point, that with div, if ever occurs and the browser window is smaller, if the browser window is smaller than the width of the element, okay, that is about 500 pixel, then the browser then adds a horizontal scroll bar of the page. That is very important point, and using max width instead in the situation will improve the browser handling of small windows. And there is a tip also there, that drag the browser window to smaller than 500 pixel width to see the difference between the two divisions. Okay. Now then you can see the example. The element has a height of 100 pixel and the maximum width of 500 pixel. That is an example of the division div tag. And the value of the max width property overrides width. That is a very important point. These are the points which are very important to understand related to div operators, related to div tag. Next is, now these are the all CSS dimension properties which we already discussed some of them, in which we already discussed some of them. That is the height. So the height sets the height of an element. Okay. Then the width sets the width of an element. Then max height set the maximum height of the element. Min height set the minimum height of the element. max width set the maximum width of the element, and min width set the minimum width of the element. So these are the properties related to set of width and height of a web page. Next is styling links or CSS links. So we can set the property of CSS link also. These are the or CSS dimension property. So in which using this property we can set the dimension of our web page. We can set the height, maximum height, minimum height, and width, maximum width, minimum width using these properties. Our next topic is styling links. So link can be styled with any CSS properties. These color, font family, background, etc. So styling link is our next topic. So link can be styled with any CSS property, that is color, font family, background, etc. Now you can see here that is a basically is a tag used for link, anchor tag, and that is a selector for CSS. So we just give a color name hot pink. So we just change the link of the color, and the link of the color is now hot pink. Okay, in this program, and we can use color, hot color, font family, background properties, etc. with this link. Now you can easily see in the body part of that program that paragraph is declared here. I think it is clear visible to all of you. And the link is to default.asp. ASP basically is an active server page refers for. So that is there is a page default.asp is there, and target is blank. It means it will open in a new window. So a link is there, and using CSS we just change the color of that link, and now the color of the link is hot pink. You can see the output here. Color of the link is changed here. In addition, link can be styled differently depending on what state they are in, and the four links states are here. Then these are: a link means a normal or unvisited link. Then is a visited, it means a link the user has visited. A hover, a link when the user mouses over it. And a active, a link the moment it clicked. So these are the different property value combination: a link, a visited, a hover, and a active. And you can set all, you can use all these property value combination in your program also. A link, that is an unvisited link. A visited, a link that the user has visited. A hover means a link when the user mouse is over it. And a active, a link the moment it is clicked. And this is the program here to show the all these property value combination. Program always start with the HTML, and before this you can see that the document type HTML is declared, which means the type of the document is HTML. And then within the style element, you can see the coding of CSS. It means it is an example of internal CSS. So a link, first of all, means we apply a property for unvisited link, and the color is set to be red here. You can easily see that. So color is red here, declared as a red. You can see the next portion here. First of all, see the main part of this program. A link color is declared as a red, means unvisited link, and then for visited link we just set the color green here. As a hover or hover, we just give a color hot pink, and for active we just give a color blue. So different values are assigned here. You can see that. And this is defined within the style text. So this is an example of internal CSS. Just apply the concept using internal CSS. Okay, so different link properties are used here. Then you can see the main part of the program start from body, that is the actual HTML coding begin within the body tag. So a paragraph is declared here. Actually, three different paragraphs are declared here, and within that paragraph we can see the coding of the link also. So the links are available here. For link we use actually anchor tag, and the address of a web page is given as a default .asp. ASP refers for active server page. Okay. First of all, a link is given. After that, there are two paragraphs which show the content regarding to the link here, and then body tag is closed. After that, at last you can close the HTML tag. Now see the output. So link is in blue color, and there are 2 points that are mentioned here, that a h over must come after a link, which means visited link, means a link and the visited link in the CSS color definition in order to be effective, and a active must come after a h over in the CSS definition in order to be effective. So there is a particular order which must be followed, and here we can easily see that there is only single link which is in blue color. After that after that h over property comes. After that we can use a active property value. Next topic is text decoration. So the text decoration property is mostly used to remove underlines from links. So using this property you can easily remove the underlines from links. By default underline are there to represent links. The text decoration property is mostly used to remove underlines from links. see the example here, HTML head style. So of course this is an example of internal CSS in which you can easily see that different types of text decoration properties, different values of text decoration properties are given here. First of all, for a link text decoration is none, for a visited text decoration is none, a h over text decoration is underlined, and a active text decoration is underlined again. You can see the first part of this. A link a text decoration is none is declared here. For a visited text decoration is none again declared. Okay, so none is a value for text decoration. If you want that nothing will be happens for text decoration, then none is to be given. No text decoration is there when none is declared. So this is applied for link and simple link and for visited link. Next, this is applied for a hover text decoration is underlined. So a hover text decoration is underlined. Okay. So when his mouse is over at that link, then text decoration shows as underlined. Then a active text decoration is underlined again. For active link, text decoration is again declared as underline. Declared as underline. Now after this all setting of CSS is done within the style element. So this is a part of internal CSS. Now within the body tag, you can easily see that a link is given as default.asp. So it is a web page. ASP refers to active server page. And then after a paragraph is given. Okay. So it may be any page, default.asp. So you can mention the link using anchor tag, and a paragraph is just after there, which says that as a hover must come after a link and a visited in the CSS definition in order to be effective, and that is a point we already discussed in the previous example. Next, there is another paragraph which says that a active must comes after h over in the CSS definition in order to be effective. After that, body is closed and then HTML is closed. So that is a program which shows the functionality of how this program shows how we can able to change the link color or link property, able to implement the different styles of link using CSS. Now CSS is complete now. So all the topic related to CSS is now completed. So first of all, you can first of all you just make a program in HTML and apply the CSS coding using inline, using internal, as well using external CSS. So it gives you a clear idea how CSS property are applied using internal, external, and inline. And after that, you can remember the different types of values in different ways in which we can apply the values to selector, whether it is using the selector name or whether it is using the universal selector or using a class or using a ID. And after that, different properties value combination must be learned and must be remembered to implement, and after that implement just one by one, and then in a single program try to implement all these CSS property. It gives you a clear idea how CSS property works in with your HTML program. So now CSS is now complete here. So thanks for watching this video.